So, as you learned in the last episode, I have discovered my newest hyperfixation, which is the tiny subgenre of epic, symphonic, blackened deathcore. And yes, I'm serious. And the reason I love it so much is it takes everything I love about metal and cranks it to 11. There is a pretty wide variation in vocal styles. There are the intense blast beats and chainsaw guitars, and most importantly, there are violins, cellos, choirs, timpani drums, and all of those amazing things. And yes, since this is so specific, I will be only talking about songs, not even bands. So a lot of these bands have created something beautiful here that might never happen again for them, and that's truly special. As always, check the description for the link to the Spotify playlist. I make one for every video I release. So our first victim of the day is Darker by Design, and this is featuring the violinist and the vocalist, one of the vocalists from Ne Albaviscaris, and I think it's pronounced Zenor? He is Australian, no? Okay. I actually didn't include Ne Albaviscaris in this series because I don't think they're quite over the top enough, but of course I'm going to be talking about them at some point. Just don't worry about that. To me, they're quite classy, sophisticated. You know, when I listen to them, I need to be holding a glass of whiskey and a cigar. It's just top tier stuff. But today, we want that dirty stuff. And I think Darker by Design brings that in this song. You have the beautiful addition of the violins here. As always, he's a very talented musician. So go check this one out. I love that. That verse there specifically is just really cool. I haven't heard many things that sound like that. So next, you might notice, we already did Lorna Shore last episode, you might notice who this is right here because I recently did a video about them and I went over an entirety of one of their albums. I went through it practically song by song, but this song specifically is beautiful. I think this was actually one of the first songs that got me into the symphonic death type stuff back when it first came out. So that's pretty cool. So here is Slice the Cake. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like those really harsh vocals just coming through, the blast beats, the symphony, everything. It's just perfect. So next we have Of Ruin. You guys all know who they are probably. They're just so in your face with their music. It's like an addiction for me. Also, the breakdown in this song specifically made me laugh out loud. It's so funny. So honestly, the fact that they're from Nashville makes me really happy. They're proving that Americans, we can do this stuff too. Of course, this features Blake Mullins from Disembodied Tyrant. Like I said in the last episode, all of this is very incestuous. See what I mean there. Actually, there are a couple of breakdowns in this song, but you know, that's just what you expect from this genre. So next up, I had never heard of the Archaic Epidemic before I started making this series, and I am genuinely impressed. These vocals are just like so forward in the mix. It's like he's screaming right into your ears. They also feature Devin from Worm Shepherd. Don't think he's a Worm Shepherd anymore. I can't keep up with this stuff, man. They definitely have a new fan after this. I'm going to keep looking out for their music. So how he makes those noises. It's just crazy. But then up next we have Ghost of Elhr. So this is one of the lesser known bands here. So they call themselves Rust Belt Blackened Death, and that is their only description on every single social media. So I don't know anything else about them. From what I've heard of them, the production is really good, the instrumentation is really good, and the orchestral parts are simple but effective. I say they belong here completely. These next guys are from Texas. They are actually the side project of the vocalist from Signs of Omnicide, and it really delivers. It's got plenty of bite to it. The album covers are just nuts, and it's got these beautiful opera-style vocals drifting over the top of the mix the entire time. This is Salem Burning. Like, just look at that album cover. That's insane. That's another thing I love about this whole genre is the bass tone is always just the trashiest, dirtiest, clanging noise that you've ever heard, and I just love that. Like, I always try to get that myself, and it's actually surprisingly hard to do. Next up we have Bakasura, and they have some just really spiteful sounding music in, you know, a good way, of course. There's not a huge orchestral focus here, but there is a very haunting piano lead, and I'm always a sucker for that. Whatever compression they put on those drums, because it just sounds so like snappy and just add attention. I don't know how else to describe it, but yeah, pretty cool stuff. And then next up we have Existentialist. They are from the UK, and they have this sort of brick-walled lo-fi sound that contrasts sort of the super hyper hi-fi stuff that you usually get in this subcategory. So the violins in this song are just like erratic, constantly running through the background in a flittering dance. Yeah, you see what I mean here with a kind of lo-fi sound. Like, there's like no bass at all. It's all like hyper compressed. Honestly, if you're into that stuff, then you're gonna love this band, because they're all about that. Also, only 412 monthly listeners, so yeah, you can be one of their early fans for sure. I think next up, this band is from Portugal. So the album cover for this one is just amazing, by the way. It's a four-armed alien rising above a fire with mountains in the background. So it has these fat, chuggy riffs and these tap dancing blast beats that just carry you through the song. And it's like a snare with the loudest ringing reverb that you've ever heard. So this is Inhuman Architects. Yeah, you hear that snare is just like, sounds like someone's just beating on a trash can. I love that. And then last one for the episode, we have Night Crowned. So this is a lot more melodic death than the others in this episode, but it's got that very dark funeral sound that just hits something different. You guys know what I'm talking about. In this song specifically, they have this hurdy-gurdy type instrument playing the whole time and some beautiful female vocals just riffing through the quieter parts. It's quite effective. So yeah, really creative stuff. Like, it's not really anything like I've heard before, so it's pretty cool. So there you go. That is episode 2 done and gone. I really think this channel could be something if I really put my time into it, but it's been really difficult. The cool thing though about this channel is that as a collective, like including you guys, we all know an infinite amount of bands, right? So the amount of comments I get telling me about bands I've never heard of is so cool. It's like a conglomerate of information. So I think my ultimate goal is 10,000 subscribers, because like I think that's a really solid number for a channel that kind of makes more niche content, and I think smaller communities tend to be a lot stronger. But either way, that's enough babbling about what I need to do, so it's time to go do it. But I will see you next time.